Martina Navratilova suggests the Australian Open made a mistake for Eala's first-round match. Eala's Australian Open campaign was brought to a stuttering halt on Monday by American player SHOCKS. Eala seemed to be in full control after winning the first set 6-0. Unfortunately for Filipino fans, Eala was unable to capitalize on her advantage, losing the next two sets 6-3, 6-2. Despite the loss, Eala's support at the Australian Open has been incredible. Lines of fans queued up to watch a match, and Filipino flags could be seen scattered across the Court 6 crowd. Eala, who may be the most popular figure in tennis, expressed her gratitude for the support after the contest. After Eala's loss, Lindsay Davenport and Martina Navratilova discussed Eala's popularity, while noting a mistake Australian Open organizers made. Martina Navratilova urges Australian Open organizers to pay more attention to player popularity. Navratilova began the discussion, praising the fans who waited in line to watch Eala on Monday. Lindsay Davenport was trying to get there, to Court 6. "It's amazing that people were so nicely standing in line," Navratilova said on the Tennis Channel. "But they would be there for at least an hour, if they ever got to the match. So kudos to the fans. The players have no idea this is happening." Lindsay Davenport, the 1999 Wimbledon women's singles champion, added, Eala probably needed to be on a bigger show court. She's, I think, probably the most famous female from the Philippines, certainly one of the most famous people ever to come through their sporting world, and there were so many fans here who were just waiting to get in there. I just wanted to go see SHOCKS play. You weren't getting anywhere near that court." Navratilova, an 18-time Grand Slam singles champion, later continued the discussion, urging Australian Open organizers to pay more attention to respective fan bases and the popularity of players. "The organizers need to keep more in mind where the players are from and what the actual fan base is here," Navratilova added, "because there's massive Filipino audience in Melbourne, in Australia, so keep that in mind next time you make the schedule." Eala's popularity is simply remarkable. Wherever the Filipina goes, her fans follow. SHOCKS, Eala's opponent on Monday, noted the partisan crowd, describing the atmosphere as very difficult. SHOCKS, the world number 99, will play 19th seed Karolina Muchova in the second round, Eala's next Australian Open match. Eala is set to make another appearance in Melbourne on Tuesday morning, when she teams up with Brazil's Ingrid Guimarães Martins for the women's doubles event. The pair, who are unseeded, will play Magda Linette and Shuko Aoyama in the first round. If Eala and Guimarães Martins defeat the Polish and Japanese pair, they will face Linda Noskova and Rebecca Shramkova or 6 seeds Aisha Mohammed and Erin Routliffe in the second round. Katerina Siniakova and Taylor Townsend, the top seeds, are the defending Australian Open women's doubles champions. A misread moment or a missed opportunity. Martina Navratilova on Eala and the Australian Open. Tennis thrives on tradition and precision. Every Grand Slam, the US Open, Roland Garros, Wimbledon, and the Australian Open, is a theater of sport where strategy, stamina, and spectacle converge. Players train year-round for these moments. Organizers orchestrate meticulous schedules. Broadcasters and sponsors watch from all corners of the globe. Yet, even in the most finely calibrated arenas, surprises happen, and sometimes they reveal something deeper about the sport's evolving dynamics. In January 2026, an event at the Australian Open captured attention not because of a stunning winner or a historic upset, but because of what didn't go quite right. The first-round match of rising star Eala and the overwhelming reaction it drew from fans. To many observers, including tennis legend Martina Navratilova, this moment wasn't just an enthusiastic crowd. It was evidence that the sport's guardians hadn't fully anticipated a new force in tennis and the passion she ignited. A young star and a crowd overflowing. Eala, the 20-year-old Filipino sensation, has seen a rapid ascent in women's tennis. Riding on a breakthrough season and ranking inside the top 50, she arrived at Melbourne Park with an electric combination of skill and global appeal. Word quickly spread, especially among Filipino communities in Australia and around the world, that Eala was not just another first-round competitor. She was a phenomenon. What unfolded before her first-round match against SHOCKS was remarkable. Hours before the scheduled start, long lines of fans, many draped in Philippine flags and wearing Eala's colors, snaked around the venue. Court 6, one of the smaller show courts, was filled far beyond expectations. Hundreds were left outside, shuffling anxiously, hopeful for entry. Viral footage showed crowds that dwarfed the court's capacity. And yet, despite the intense interest, the match was slated for an intimate court, not one of the main stadiums where larger fan contingents could be adequately accommodated. That choice, in the eyes of many, became the focal point of debate. Navratilova's view, a miscalculation. Amid the buzz, Martina Navratilova, a voice that carries weight in tennis conversations, offered a pointed observation. She said that while the fans' dedication was inspiring, the tournament's scheduling and court allocation seemed to overlook a simple but crucial factor: player popularity and cultural context. According to her, tournament organizers ought to account for where players are from and the strength of their fan bases when making scheduling decisions. I think the organizers need to keep more in mind where the players are from and what the actual fan base is here, because there's a massive Filipino audience here in Melbourne, Navratilova remarked in a discussion on the Tennis Channel. Her point wasn't just tactical, it was cultural. In her view, an event as grand and global as the Australian Open should anticipate not just outcomes on the court, but the sociological energy that comes with certain players. It wasn't a criticism born of frustration, rather, a suggestion that the sport's administrators might evolve with the shifting dynamics of global fan engagement. Navratilova's insight respected the fans' passion while urging organizers to better forecast demand, elevate fan experience, and perhaps celebrate emerging talents in larger venues befitting their draw. A crowd beyond numbers. The match itself only added layers to the narrative. When Eala took the court, the atmosphere was electric. In front of that packed and raucous crowd, she dominated the first set, winning 6-0 in what seemed like a statement of intent. That surge ignited cheers, waving flags, and chants that exemplified pure support for a hometown hero in exile, a trailblazer representing the Philippines on a global stage. But tennis, with all its unpredictability, turned against her. Parks regained her composure, fought back, and ultimately won the next two sets 6-3, 6-2, sending Eala home earlier than many had hoped. Amid the celebration for Parks' resilience, Eala's experience was described by some observers as overwhelming, with the crowd's intensity arguably contributing to the pressure she felt.